What's up, YouTube? I have a top 16 BEETROOPER deck profile from a UK up-and-coming player called Jamie Hunter. He's only 15 years old. He's not even top 4 to regional, yet he crushed and top 16'd the most recent remote duel YCS, which was meant to be called YCS Utrecht. Jamie, do you want to introduce yourself to the viewers?
Yeah, hello, I'm Jamie Hunter. What else? Oh, so, BEETROOPERS. This deck's really cool. There's not much to say about myself, so let's talk about BEETROOPERs.
No, go ahead. I mean, like, you know, you talk to YCS.
So yeah, this deck's it's really cool. Been developed a lot by Herman Hansen, and yeah, it's been seeing a lot of success since the last European YCS. It's got a YCS finals. Now 3 top 32s, a top 4, and now a top 16 from me. I was the highest placing BEETROOPER player at this event. Yeah, we'll just get right into the list. First, actually, I've got a few shout outs. So, some massive shout outs to Morgan Hollandale for literally lending me like every deck I've ever played. Massive shout out to Jake as well, obviously doing the deck profile, as well as for sponsoring me, and is a great coach for all of the Broken Code players. All the shout outs to all like the Chesterfield lot. Yeah. Shout outs to the rest of the Broken Code, especially Alex. We played round 11, sadly only one of us could top. And to Ethan for helping me test versus Birds last night because I wasn't too confident in the matchup. Then shout outs to Jacob Harbour for supporting with deck building, to Herman for obviously discovering the deck, and to Anna. Yeah, I'll get straight into the deck.
What was your round like? So you went 9-2 in Swiss?
Yeah, so I went 9-2 in Swiss, won obviously top 32 and lost top 15.
Okay.
So
I'll
go through
7-1 day 1, right? You went 7-1 day 1, finish. Yeah, not bad. Okay.
I'll go through the list and then I'll do like round by round.
Sure.
So 3 Sting, it's like one of the better normal summons of the deck. It's a tuner, so it can go into Howl. On summon, it just adds a Battle Wasp. So your options to add are Pin. This is a free special, and it can burn for 200. I know Herman only played 2 in his list for this event, but I think just having more extenders in this deck is really good. I cited the third out a lot. The effect of burn is really important because it makes active code plus DP plus the 200 burn is game, as well as just being able to win in time. I only went into time once and I won through this. 1 copy of Arbalast. So this on normal summon gets a reborn a level 3 or lower insect, and when it's destroyed by an opponent's card, you get to summon a Battle Wasp from deck. A lot of the times I'd open really inoptimally and just have to normal summon this crash and summon a Sting, but it like won a lot of the games that I had to do that just purely because that equals the thing. That's it for like the Battle Wasp package. 3 Scale Bomber. It's another extender, and it's also like, keep on saying like, it can tribute an insect to basically do a Ghost Ogre type effect on monsters. Then I played 2 Sting Lancers. This is in hand. It can put back a insect from your grave and a card from your opponent's grave, which is really good. It's one of the main forms of disruption for the deck. And on summon, it adds a BEETROOPER spell trap. You use it in a lot of combos. 1 Assault Roller. This is like your Aqua Spirit for the deck. Also, when it's destroyed by an opponent's card, you get to add a BEETROOPER, which is really good because it can add the Sting Lancer, and then that can go into Verte. I had to crash this a lot as well. 1 Mighty Neptune. Herman played this for the first European YCS they topped with this deck. He sided it for this event, I think, though. I liked it in the main deck, but I can definitely understand siding it. It just would mean 1 extra slot for non-engine. So I'd consider putting this to the side deck.
Okay.
It's mainly just for like controller, more control matchups where you have to grind harder.
But from your experience in this tournament, were you glad you mained it?
Not really. There's like a card in my side deck that I'd rather have been in my main.
Okay.
But it was still very strong. I personally would probably put it into the side after this event. You do need to play it in some capacity though, because certain matchups like Eldritch an Alphageist, you sort of have to have this to win the grind.
Okay.
3 Resonance Insects.
Mm-hmm.
This is the best card in the deck. If it's sent to grave, you get to add one of your level 5 or higher insects. That your BEETROOPER Sting Lancer, your Neptune, and like grind matchups. Adds Doom Dozer as well. When it's banished, you get to send a insect from deck to grave. Synergizes really well with Goki Pole or sending Sting Lancer to set up disruption.
Mm-hmm.
This is like, if you open it, it's pretty good. Also, you can add it during your combo, and like, you usually go through 1 or 2 of these every single combo. Like the idea of the grind game is that you're looping this card, triggering Goki Pole as much as you can. I think a lot of people started running 2 Goki Pole, but I don't think it came up much for me because Sting Lancer putting it back.
Okay.
1 copy of Doom Dozer. This card's like amazing. Like, it doesn't seem like it does much, you know, when you read it. But the fact that you can add this off Resonance Insect, then summon this banishing the Resonance Insect, is really strong. It just means that sending Resonance essentially triggers Goki Pole without having to like use your Honor Horn engrave or anything like that.
Okay.
So yeah, Doom Dozer was really good. Celestial and Dasher, this is actually just a DPE deck when you think about it. Yeah, not much to say about these. I wouldn't play the deck without DPE, and these were stuck to my hand all then.
Okay.
Onto like non-engine. Play 3 Retaliating Seed. This is sort of engine, but it's also just a hand trap. So when your opponent activates a spell, it special summons itself, and then it's Macrocosmos on the field, which is really good versus like Drytron. You can use it versus a Bird Call. The Quick Play Tenyu spell, it's really good against as well. And yeah, when it's sent to the graveyard, you get to add a Earth Insect with 1500 or less attack, which is Resonance Insect, which is like why it's so good. This plus an extended does like your full combo. 3 Ash. Ash was really good. It's really good into the matchups, like essentially everything other than like Sword Soul and Bird. But it's not like terrible in those matchups or anything. I wouldn't cut it. I had to normal summon this a lot to be able to go into a Verte, and that won me a lot of grind games.
Okay.
To Nibiru. Oh, to Nibiru is terrible. Don't run 2 of this card, play 3. Sorry, Jake. 2 Velas. Once again, like, probably just play 3 off hand traps.
How was Nibiru and how was Vela?
Nibiru was insane, Vela was insane. Literally, I just probably would cut down on engine a bit and then just play more hand traps. They're the best cards in the deck.
Okay.
Because the BEETROOPER cards aren't brilliant, but I don't know. But yeah, I'd like to maybe play a 3rd Vela, and that's probably what I would put in for the Neptune.
Okay.
2 Descent, the second comes up a lot, but you can side it out. When in the scenarios where I needed to side in like 6 or 7 cards, I took the second Descent out.
Alright.
It just summons a token, and it's also your Mystic Mine out in the main deck. Because if you have a insect monster with 3k or more attack, you can summon the token and then pop a spell or trap on the field.
Okay.
So it's like a good mine out. 3 Fusion Destiny. I like barely drew this card. But the deck, it's really easy to just make Verte with this deck. So I don't think it came up that I was only playing 3 instead of that I was playing 3 instead of like just playing less. Then 3 Infirm, like the best hand trap I'd probably say. It just is insane. I lost the talents a lot when I used like Vela and Ash.
Yep.
So to have a hand trap that didn't trigger that.
So you're effectively playing 16 hand traps?
Yeah. Or not 16, so 5, 7, 10, 13 hand traps.
13, yeah.
I'd like to maybe try and fit in a few more, given that like this deck doesn't do much with just its engine.
Okay.
But yeah. Then just the 1 Flying Sting. A lot of people have cut this from the deck, but I really like it. It's really meaningful disruption. It's just a counter trap that negates monster effects and destroys them when you control a BEETROOPER.
Okay.
you get to do cool setups to like get this turn 1, where you like make your Link Force tribute itself, summon the Sting from deck. There's like really cool combos, but they're quite niche, and you need to know what you're doing with the deck to be able to get to the fine Sting combos.
Yeah.
Onto the extra deck.
With the main deck, is there anything you change apart from the ones that you've mentioned in terms of hand traps?
Yeah, only the things I've mentioned with cutting the Neptune for a third Nibiru.
Okay.
I think that's the only change I'd make.
Great.
1 Armorage, 1 Link Spider. They both are great. The second Armorage would have come up a lot, but like the graveyard effect sometimes saved me instead. Second two Armor Horn. The second comes up a lot because it gets banished when it leaves the field. It's pretty strong. I mean, it's Nightmare Goblin and a Dragon Ruler.
Mm-hmm.
In fact, there's sort of a theme in this deck where you just put loads of broken cards together and make one card. Pico Felena, for example, is Union Carrier and Daigusto Emerald. The Link 4 has Dragoon's Protection, and it's a Spiral Bubble Helix. So that's like a lot of what drew me into the deck, just how powerful like single cards are.
Okay.
Yeah, Pico, the second would have never come up. Almost every time like the grind game where this comes up, you can put it back with Sting onto.
Right.
Hulk came up a lot as well. It makes Sting a better normal summon. Because if you already have a Fusion Destiny, you can just go Sting, add pin, special pin, make Hulk, and then Hulk goes into Seraphim Papillon.
Mm-hmm.
Seraphim is a monster reborn on your opponent's turn, essentially. It summons back the Sting. Sting is obviously a disruption by tributing an insect. And it summons back Scale Bomber, which is also an interruption with the Ghost Ogre-like effect. Also, the Link 2 locks you into insects while you have it on field, so you have to go into this before going into access code and stuff.
Yeah.
This card's really good. Verte, Dragoon Broken. Unicorn BLS. So this would have been Win, but I couldn't find one before the event, so I played the card that I pulled at locals instead. It was shiny, and I kind of wanted to play it.
How was it?
It won 2 games purely on its own, and I didn't even play against Striker, which was the main matchup I was playing it for. I love this. I've loved having this card in my extra. It's the nice 15th flex slot, and the win wouldn't have come up.
Nice.
The unicorns obviously for the access code. This is like the best card in the extra.
Yeah.
Except for DP. But yeah, this is more of an access code DP deck than it is a BEETROOPER deck.
Mm-hmm.
Then Appaloosa, I summoned it like once and it was pretty bad. There's scenarios where I'm sure you can like summon this to like win the game, but it wasn't too great for me. And then Atlas is very good.
Okay.
This came once where I was Protoss Dark Locked, and the only way to out Protoss once you're Dark Locked is summoning this, tributing something, and using its lesser known effect, where it boosts itself by 2k.
Mm-hmm.
The 5 Atlas just swings over that Protoss. So that's quite helpful. Side deck, 2 token collectors and 2 drolls. Probably should be on 3 of them, but like, I don't know. I didn't draw this all event. I drew this once versus my first Sword Soul opponent. Didn't end up like mattering though. He just powered through it. 1 Nibiru. This probably would be named and then I'd switch it out for the Neptune. 1 Godala. Only came up like once. 2 Droplets. It was just really good when I drew it.
Mm-hmm.
Which wasn't very often though. 2 Cosmic. So actually I'll just quickly go in. This deck has like an awful Pacro matchup. So I played 2 Cosmics, 1 Duster, and 3 Evenly.
How was Evenly?
Didn't draw it once.
Okay.
I spoke about like how broken my side deck is because I like only won game 1 throughout all of Swiss. In fact, no, I won 0 game 1s throughout all of Swiss, I believe. However, I then spoke about how I must just have a broken side deck. I didn't draw any of these cards like throughout the entire event, which was a bit of a pity. But anyway, In my one back row matchup, it didn't really matter because I just had enough power to roll with interruptions.
Okay.
This is Cosmic over Lightning Storm because of Psy.
Yeah.
That's all the list. I'll just do my round by round quickly.
Okay.
So I played third round 1. We went to game 3.
Mm-hmm.
Played against Evilton round 2. We went to game 3. Played against Eldritch round 3. We went to round 3. You're gonna notice a pattern. I went into game 3. All of my Swiss matches. I played 33 games before Top Cup, so I was a bit tired before Top Cup. But anyway, so I played against Eldritch. Then I played against Sword Soul Tenny. That was my first loss. They were playing D Shifter in the main, and it came up. They drew it game 1 and 2, which is a bit upsetting. Round 5, I beat Try DPE. Round 6, I beat Prank Kids. Game 1, they Teekabooed me, and I lost.
Mm-hmm.
The game 2 and 3, I think, were quite easy though. Round 7, I played against Flunderies, someone I know, Quinn. It was a good match, but he bricked game 3, as did I. But this deck has the ability to summon hand traps until you make a Verte, which is what ended up winning the game. Round 8, I beat Drytron. That was the one game I went into time where I pinned the bullseye him in time. Round 9, I lost to Birds. It was Raphael Reich.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really good match though, and reasonably close. Round 10, I beat Birds. Round 11, I played against my teammate Alex.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really close match, but I ended up pulling through because I opened amazing in game 3. Top 32, I played against Flunderies, and then top 16, I lost to IDS. It was not a close match, but anyway, that is my deck profile.
Jamie, good job on making top 16 at your first YCS top. Many more to come. Only 15 years old. As Jamie mentioned that yes, he is someone in the Broken Code group that I coach, and expect to see more results from him this year. All right, Jamie, thank you very much.
Thanks, Jake.
You're welcome.